everybody. Welcome to Arsenal X, the Xbox podcast here on the Boss Rush Network. I am your host, Corey Deering, and alongside me, as always, is the wise Wisconsinite, Mr. Jesse Douglas.
How's it going?
That's going to play real well.
Well, that was the delay.
Yeah. That's going to play really well on the audio version of the show.
Way to go, Jesse. Should we do this whole thing over again?
I usually cut it out for the cut out those little tiny sections.
Oh man, you do that?
Sometimes.
Hey, if you put that on our TikTok there, Jesse, we're gonna get 6 billion views. It's fine. Also joining us is we got to come up with a name for Stoy, a nickname for Stoy, soccer coach extraordinaire. The next,
Yeah.
I haven't seen Ted Lasso, so I can't be called the next Ted Lasso.
You're not Ted Lasso. So. We'll put it that way.
No. Okay.
I just finished the current season, though. Very good. I like that show. But also, I don't know. Anyways, that voice you hear, the voluptuous. No, that's weird.
Woo! That's weird.
The gamer's facial hair, Stoy Jovic.
Hello.
Hi, Stoy.
I'm here. I don't know what I would call myself either, so I'm always really bad with nicknames.
Yeah, I don't gotta figure it out. Gotta figure it out. That's my homework for this week.
It'll come natural. It'll come naturally. At some point, you'll be at work and you'll be thinking, "That's what I'm gonna call them."
Mm-hmm. And then I'll forget 5 minutes later.
Yeah.
Because
you gotta write it down.
Old and our brains are rotting away from.
Yep.
All kinds of things. How's everyone doing? Speaking of rotting away.
Hi. Doing well. Just rotting away, just chilling.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah, it's been a week. I injured my foot real bad at work, so that's what I've been dealing with. It's cool.
How did you injure your foot at work?
Let me share a little story with you, Stoy. Okay. So, as I may or may not have told you, some people at work have left the job, and so there's been more work for me and my associate. So I've been at the warehouse getting stuff because I have to do that job now on top of the current job, and someone put a door to a Silverado on the very top shelf at the warehouse, naturally. And like an idiot, I didn't get a ladder. I just tried to pull it down because I'm tall, so I went like this and just tried to pull it down, and it started falling, and I tried to catch it with my foot so it wouldn't hit the floor, so it wouldn't dent the corner of the door. And the corner of the door just hit me right where my big toe connects to the foot. So it hurts.
Yeah, that's like almost a foot guillotine.
Yeah, I was like, oh God, my sock is filling up with blood right now, but it didn't. It's just bruised. It's fine. It's
till it falls off.
So that's a less cooler story than I anticipated.
Yeah, it's not great. That's why my foot hurts. I didn't tell you it was this amazing story. I just said, let me tell you a story.
Yeah, I know. I kind of knew with that setup, it was going to be kind of a boring story. Nothing like you were at the skate park doing kick flips all day because you played skateboard and you were like, I could do that.
It's true.
And then, you just, kick flip on a rail or something like that, whatever. And
it's true. I did, however, watch a video on Instagram the other day of a guy on a BMX bike who went to go grind a rail and hit his head on this awning when he went to jump up on the rail, and the awning was lower than he anticipated, and he hit his head and he fell back. It was funny.
Oh dear.
Yeah,
it was a good one.
I've always wanted to get it. I used to just want to get into BMX biking and all those kinds of fun things like that, but I didn't have what it took to be able to put your life aside and say, hey, I could lose my life at any moment here, and I'm fine with that.
Poor Jesse.
Poor Jesse.
Poor Jesse. There goes his dream of being a professional BMXer.
Yeah.
I tried to BMX once. It was fun. I did
not.
Here's the thing. I'm a very large human being, the type of person that does not get to BMX, okay? So,
Yeah.
You're not
Yeah,
aerodynamic.
no, gravity is not kind to the size of my body. So,
Okay.
Well, and even the adult size version of those BMX bikes isn't very big. So
yeah.
I mean, like those things are.
Well, yeah, you don't see gigantic 220-pound football players like at the BMX. Like, let me grind this rail here real quick. Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm 6'5" and 275 pounds. Okay, I'm a large human being. That's not good for BMXing, guys. Even when I was like in middle school and high school, not great. I stopped it in 10th grade because I was like, I'm too big.
Don't let the world stop you.
I also tried to do a really cool jump and I fell and I rolled down the ramp like a big beached whale. It's fine, guys. Just threw some dirt on it.
It's fine.
Threw some dirt on it. I went home, sold the bike.
Oh,
There you go. And that, kids, is how your dreams die. Anyways,
well, then you find new dreams.
speaking of dreams, this is Arsenal X, the Xbox podcast, part of the Boss Rush Network, where each and every week we come together with our friends from around the internet to talk about everything we love about Xbox, including the news, the rumors, the Game Pass, and your questions if you send them in. You can email the show at arsenalxpodcast@gmail.com or leave a comment on the latest video episode. If you listen on iTunes, leave us a 5-star rating and a nice review. Remember, you can find all of our shows and content on bossrush.net, including other podcasts, our writing stuff, other things. Newly redesigned, by the way. So
Other things.
yeah. I did some small redesigns on the website today, and I also have to fix the menu system, but it's going to be better for featuring things, for just readability, more articles on the page at once, so you're not scrolling for 75 hours, more featured content, so it'll be good. I'm happy with it. So
How about phone? Is it optimized for phone and stuff like that?
yeah, it's all optimized for phone. We're good to go.
So there you go.
If you want to look on your phone, you can read it on your phone. So we're going to jump in to what we've been playing. Stoy, I'm going to go your way first. What are you playing? What's that game you're playing? What's that big meaty game you're playing? What are you fondling with your thumbs?
Iron Fish. That's what I was playing.
Yeah, how's that?
No, I was actually going to try to access to see how bossrush.net actually shows up on my phone, but anyway. Yeah, I played I Am Fish.
How is I Am Fish? That good, huh?
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. Well, oh man, just
Is it fishy? Is it?
It's something. It's something. I'll tell you that.
Tell us about it. What is it?
So
I don't even know what kind of game this is.
So the story sets up where like you're a fish in an aquarium and you're hanging out with your other fish buddies in this big gigantic, aquarium thing, whatever. And you get fed this magical bread. This magical bread moves and it twitches and stuff and whatever. So like the aquarium owner like starts feeding you this magical bread and all your fish buddies are like, this is some good ass bread, and starts eating all the bread. And apparently that gives you the strength and the energy to eventually all your fish buddies like kind of get taken up and they get sent off to other homes. Then you get sent to another home, but then you find out you have the ability in your little fish bowl that's completely sealed. You have the ability to push on the edge of your fish bowl and initiate a rolling sequence so you can roll and escape your captivity.
Sounds riveting.
Yes, it is. So we're talking about some of the most painful controls. Like you're fighting this game. This game is fighting you. This game is literally fighting you. Like it's like, you want to go left? No, we're gonna push you right. Oh wait, you want to stop? Nah, we're not gonna let you do that. Oh, you're gonna careen over that cliff? That sucks. Nothing you can do about it now. That's basically the game in a nutshell.
Is this by the same people that made I Am Bread?
I feel like it is.
Because
I
that
feel
would
like
make
it
a
is.
lot of sense.
Yeah.
But also,
bread laced with Coke.
Basically, yeah, because man, these fish love that bread, that twitchy bread.
they love that Coke
Yeah.
and bread.
There's a so naturally you're navigating through rooftops trying to escape, and I think ultimately find your fish buddies. You basically like once you escape, captivity or whatever, and you land into a lake or you land into, whatever, because it's in this coastal English town. Yeah, someone picks you up and then puts you in a home, and then then you got to start the whole process over again, but just more difficult. So. As you careen through, you got multiple branching paths, and you have little floaty bread pieces that are just collectibles that are kind of just there, whatever. So they put one in the middle of the street in the first level. Let me tell you, I died 26 times trying to get a little piece of freaking bread, but I did it.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah.
So why did you play this game for so long? Is it?
It was
are there easy achievements, or like? Is this like one of those like games that people just buy because the achievements are easy, or what? What's the deal?
The achievements aren't easy. This game is not easy. This game is not easy. Like when I said you're fighting the controls, you're fighting the controls. Like it's frustratingly, if you don't nail the traversal and the movement correctly, you're gonna have a bad time. And I think it's one of those games where it's like it's frustratingly hard, but something just keeps drawing you to keep doing it because it's almost like a challenge to yourself. Like, I'm not going to let this game beat me.
So it's like the Dark Souls of fish games.
Yeah, I guess so. But yeah, I suppose you're right. I mean, I hate using that frame of reference to say, just because it's a hard game, it's like Dark Souls. But I suppose you're right because that's the mentality of just like this game is punishingly difficult, but not because the difficulty's hard, it's because the control scheme to me. So that's why it's not necessarily like those kind of games, because like Dark Souls and Bloodborne and stuff like that, like the schemes, but it's just the game is hard.
Yeah.
But trying to navigate a fishbowl, I mean, it's not like Super Monkey Ball.
Yeah.
So
it'd be cool if it was though. Super Fish
Yeah.
Ball.
Yeah.
It would. It would make the game probably a lot more fun, but
yeah, that's what I was under the impression at first look, is it was going to be like similar to that, but yeah, that is kind of a bummer. So would you say, is it more like almost like the games like you have the Goat Simulator and stuff where it's just like nonsense kind of stuff, and it is kind of, because that game is too like it takes some getting used to the controls for Goat Simulator. Like that game is very difficult, has a very big learning curve, but once you figure it out.
Yeah, I think I don't know if this one really has a learning curve per se like that. This one is kind of like, I guess, I mean, the controls are pretty basic and pretty simple. Like just move the joystick around. There is a I think there's a big tank mode where you're in a tank and you're floating around and stuff like that. And I think there's like, if you want to try to swim around, you use the triggers as like flappers, but that's an alternate control scheme. I never played with that yet, but most of the time you're just trying to fight with trying to get the camera right and trying to get your fish to push on the tank the right way, so you don't, careen off the rooftop. And obviously, if you smash your tank, you're dead, and then you have to restart. So.
Yeah, because you're technically you're controlling the fish inside of the bowl. You're not actually controlling the bowl.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Once you kind of understand that concept of it, it doesn't become easier. It becomes harder.
Yeah.
But
yeah. See, I think that's probably
it becomes easier. I'll give it that. Once you kind of understand the mechanics and the physics behind it, but I mean, it's still a hard game to kind of really get into, and I guess am I going to keep going with this? Probably. Something will drive me back into it, but yeah. The only other game I played besides what I played last week was another game that came on Game Pass called Subliminal. And I don't know if you saw this game. This game popped up kind of like Shadow dropped like a week or two ago. This game came out on the Switch, I think, a while ago, and it's very Portal-esque. like you're going through. You're basically apparently your character is in a dream state, and you're navigating through this dream state, trying to go from room to room, engaging in puzzles. But the mechanic of this is that a lot of things that you look at that you can pick up is kind of like subliminal nature, where it's like it's all in the angle and how you look at it and how far away you put it. Mm-hmm. So say for example you pick up a remote or something like that, whatever. So like you move it around and you kind of walk away from it, and then you lift it up into the air, and then you drop it, and then all of a sudden it grows 10 times its size. Mm-hmm. And you use these to navigate through the area. So like say for example, you have one of the areas, you get a big cheese wedge. It's a cheese wedge about like whatever, that big.
Cheese.
But you have a door. I'm from Wisconsin, so it's this is important stuff. So then you have this big wall with a door way up top. So it's like, okay, I got to make the cheese wedge bigger somehow, put it up against the wall, and then climb it like a ramp.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like it's like it deals with like depth perception and like like the way you have something, because it's closer to your face, it looks bigger, but it's not really. But in this game,
so that's the mechanic.
Makes it bigger. Yeah,
that's the mechanic, because if you're trying to make something get bigger, and it took me a while to kind of grasp the concept of like, okay, how do I pick this thing up and make it, make it bigger so I could, that's what she said. So, but like, yeah, it's all in like kind of like, your ability to look at it and then pick it up and bring it closer to your face, and then almost like back away from it. Mm-hmm. And then that's how it kind of gets to a point. But sometimes if you're trying to drop it off, like, so it's like, say for example, like some of the rooms are just walled off, but like there's like a space beyond it. So like I'll pick up something and then I'll be like, okay, I just want to drop it there. Oh, it dropped behind that wall. Now it's gone. That sucks. Yeah. Because there is like kind of like fourth wall breaking stuff where like you escape the puzzle mazes, and then you got this voice tell you, hey, by the way, you're really lost and we don't know where you are, but it's fine. It's fine. Because there's like a kind of like a computer overlord talking to you, kind of like a what's her face in Portal?
Yeah, Gladys.
Yeah. Gladys, that's it. Yeah. So not as funny as GLaDOS, not as like kind of dry sense of humor, but it really challenges you. It really challenges you to think a little bit. Like you walk into a room and then you're like, how do I get out of this? So you just kind of look around, you walk around. It's like, okay, I can make that bigger, and then put that on top of that. And it's just, the puzzles aren't too hard, but it forces you to think a little bit.
Nice.
Yeah, I downloaded it. I haven't played it yet, but it seemed very interesting because I like that.
Listen, it's either going to make you feel really smart or really stupid.
Yeah, that usually
it's one of those two.
Yeah,
and it's never the one you want.
Never the one you want. Yeah.
I love those kind of games. Like still to this day, one of my favorite games is Braid.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that game is just so brilliant. Mm-hmm. And just the whole twist at the end. Oh, it's such a brilliant
the twist. What a stupid twist.
I thought it was perfect because you're so used to the whole Mario concept, and I love that they make you the bad guy. It's just
right. Anyway, that's pretty much what I've been playing. Besides all like I'm still playing Tales. I'm still playing racing games. Oh, by the way, guess what I learned about Xbox?
What did you learn about Xbox?
That Rims racing game that I was playing last week.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I didn't buy the Series X version.
Oh God.
And it does not have smart delivery, apparently, that game.
What?
So if I wanted the Series X version, I had to buy the Series X copy of it.
Oh God.
Because I noticed that I was playing it earlier this week and I was like, it kind of runs like dog shit. Like, I mean, it doesn't run bad, but it's like I'm playing on a Series X and it looks like it doesn't look like a Series X game. So then I kind of like look to see it doesn't have the XS logo on the icon, on the user interface. And then I grab the cartridge and I'm like, but it says Series X on the box. But it doesn't have that little X sticker on the upper right. Mm-hmm. And this is Microsoft. You done effed up on this one.
It's one of those boxes that says Xbox One first, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. So that's where I was like looking at it because I was like, well, I thought like because I know they said like it said Series X on it too, so I thought, well, I'll get the Series X upgrade, whatever. But the fact that Microsoft made the cartridge look exactly the same as the Xbox One cartridge, the case, so to speak, like you think to yourself, oh, this is Series X. It says it right on the front of the cover. It says it on the disc.
It says it's right there.
Yeah, but like it doesn't have that little X sticker, which leads me to believe I bought the Xbox One version. So sure enough, that's what I did. Now, I don't know if I want to buy the game again just to get the Series X version, but
and part of that though I think would be on the distributor of that game, like whatever the company that made that game decided to do when the boxing.
But yeah, because even if you go into the Microsoft store, they have two different versions of the game itself.
Yeah.
There's the Xbox One version. They both cost the same, but there's the Xbox One version and then the Series X version. And then there's like an Ultimate Edition where like you get both copies. So like if you had an Xbox One and then you had a Series X, you can actually split the game, into two, so to speak.
That's that's dumb, especially if you're selling it for the same price.
Yeah.
You just need make it one that's like it automatically just upgrades to the if you got the Series XS, just make it so then it will recognize that you're using that console and download that version like a lot of games are,
Yeah, but apparently this doesn't have the smart delivery that Microsoft has obviously, kind of pitched the idea for.
One of the rare games.
And I was just singing Xbox's praises just earlier about how like that smart delivery is awesome because like you don't get prompted to or you don't have to navigate through the menus to manually download it like Sony PlayStation does. Like it just automatically pops. Here you go. Here's the free update for you.
Well,
don't need to do anything else.
What I heard is Tales of Arise actually doesn't have smart delivery either, but it is only a one-time purchase though. So if you have the Xbox One version, you automatically get the Series X version, but it's not smart delivery. So this is, man, that's so weird. Like man.
Yeah, I know. So I'm a little bullet hurt, but that's okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't aware this was Crossroads, the PlayStation podcast, where all of our games are confusing.
Yeah, I know. Damn it, where's Laurent? He needs to explain this shit to me. I don't understand.
He's busy cutting sleeves off more shirts so he can do more podcasts.
Yeah. I was slowly morph into Laurent.
We're not used to these back alleyways of getting our games.
I know, no kidding. I have to navigate. You know how hard it was to download Tormented for the PlayStation 5? You know how hard that was? Like it was so painful. I was like, I can't believe I have to manually search for a game and then navigate through 20 different icons just to find a game. I should just be able to. Anyway,
you should just be able to do it.
Yeah. Anyway, that's all I've been playing.
Cool.
Sad.
I enjoyed your stories about your games.
Thank you.
Kind of sad, actually, that you didn't.
Yeah.
It's sad, but it's okay.
We'll start a GoFundMe.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just need $50. That's all I need. Just $50 so I can buy the game again. That's it. Not a $60 game. Thankfully.
You don't even get a discount for an upgrade or anything? There's no $10 upgrade or anything?
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah. Whoever published that game definitely fumbled the ball.
Definitely dropped the ball on that one. Yeah. I thought that's what I looked at. I was like, well, maybe they have an upgrade version because on PlayStation 5, a lot of games are like that where it's like, oh, you want the PS5 version? You got to pay full price for it, you chump.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Chump.
Let's talk about something else.
Speaking of chumps, Jesse, what are you playing?
Yeah.
Well, I am on my Microsoft Windows PC. I've been playing
You're laughing and I don't understand.
I'm playing Bridge of Spirits on my PC.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
Don't worry, the earliest Xbox can get that is March, so we might be playing that next spring.
Yeah.
It's only a 6 month
I didn't know
window.
that was coming.
Yeah, it's only a 6 month 6 month timed exclusive. Although the developer said it might be more like next fall so they can get the port running correctly.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, like I absolutely love the hell out of this game. Like I just love the whole like they've got the mechanics similar to your like Pikmin, where you kind of you rescue or kind of call upon these little spirits that are all throughout the wilderness and stuff like that come and help you. And then, you know, as you build them up, you can, you know, they'll you know, direct them to stuff to move it, so you can get things to stand on to access, you know, different areas, and you can, you know, call them to the different enemies to help you attack the enemies and stuff, besides your physical attacks and stuff. And man, when people talk about this game, about how beautiful it looks, they are not lying. It is such a good looking game.
Well, the developer is this is their first game, but they're an animation.
First.
They're an outsourced animation house, kind of like Blur, right? Like that's what they do.
I heard this was supposed to be a movie.
At
were
first, it was supposed to be a short
movie.
It was supposed to be a short film. I don't know if you guys ever watched they did a really awesome Majora's Mask short film. It's on their website.
Yeah,
it's
saw that.
Incredible.
Yeah. The only thing I liked from Majora's Mask was that.
Yeah.
We can't be friends now. I'm just kidding.
Fine. I don't want to be friends.
I'm just kidding. This is not Nintendo Pow Block.
Okay,
Your judgment of Nintendo games on this show will not be judged in our friendship.
Okay, thank you.
Although Ed's in the chat, he might be judging you right now.
Well,
yeah. No, I think Ed's with me on this one.
Oh yeah,
Ed's
Ed hates Majora's Mask.
Yeah.
He's like,
Yeah.
oh, it's just a side quest that's Zelda. And I'm like,
yeah. Corey's the only one here who likes that game, because I absolutely hated it too. I tried it and I did not like it. I loved Ocarina of Time.
It's my fourth favorite Zelda game of all time.
Cool.
No, fifth. I would say fifth. Top 5.
Anyway.
I like.
Anyways.
Masks,
Anyways.
How is Kena? Is it good?
Kena Bridge of Spirits. It like on my PC, I'm running a 2070 RTX, and I got it running at 4K, just slightly under 60 frames. But it still looks amazing, runs really smooth. But yeah, like I'm really interested in this storyline. Like it's something about like these different kinds of masks and stuff. Speaking of Majora's Mask, there is some feel of that in this, where like, you know, like there's in certain areas that you couldn't access until you had the mask of this spirit, and it's like they make these masks to recognize the dead and to celebrate them, kind of. And there's these like spiritual like powers that come along with them. And so like the character kind of that you play as, it comes from a family of, I believe it was her father would help souls move on, and stuff like that. And so that's kind of like a little chunk of the story of what you're kind of doing. You're kind of going through these different areas and helping clear this darkness.
It sounds like
over.
It almost sounds like 3D Spiritfarer. I don't know if you played Spiritfarer or not. It's on Game Pass. It's you basically really ferry the souls to the afterlife or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Well, like I was saying, is like honestly, what it feels like to me is if you were to take Breath of the Wild and then put Pikmin, like mix Pikmin in with it, like where you're doing the thing like you're doing in Breath of the Wild, but you have that whole system of the little characters that you can call on to help you do things and solve puzzles, and like I was like, God, this like really makes me. I would love a Zelda with Pikmin, this kind of style, but
nope.
Yeah, I'm just blown away playing this, at the fact that this is literally the first game they've ever made. And yeah, like if you like the 3D kind of open world-esque kind of stuff and a really good story, like it is definitely one worth picking up when when you got the money for it, and or if you gotta wait and get a PlayStation, but it's definitely worth it. Like in my opinion, I really liked it a lot. Or like it a lot.
I'll
Yeah.
I'll probably get it when it comes to Xbox, just because I'll get a PlayStation 5 eventually, but if a game is coming to Xbox, I will 99% of the time get it there, even if it's a timed exclusive, just because, this is where I play. This is where I want to play my games. I'm invested in the ecosystem, whatever. Like, I'll just wait, right? Like, I know the Knights of the Old Republic remake is a timed exclusive for Sony, right? But I'll wait to play it on Xbox. There's too many other games to play. I'm invested in like the Halo multiplayer now, which I'll get to later, Destiny, and like a ton of other things across Xbox. So I'll wait, right? Like I'll just wait. But I am excited to play Canada. That game looks awesome. Awesome.
No, yeah, I think I'm waiting for the physical copy because it's digital only, and I'm a physical copy guy. So when I heard that they weren't going to be releasing a physical copy till like November for the PlayStation, I was like, yeah, I'll wait. I'm fine with that. I got plenty of other stuff I need to get to.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing is, like there's still a lot of games, like especially now having a PS4. There's a lot of stuff that I would like to get around to playing on there as well, but it's so hard because like I just like it's stepping down now. Be like playing stuff on my Xbox. I'm just so it's spoiled at this point.
Yeah, that's the thing is like, yeah, technically you don't really need these new consoles yet, but it's like once you move from like an Xbox, especially like an Xbox One X or S, and move to the Series X or S, and it's like, God, I'm so glad I upgraded just because it plays all my old games way better.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And like the zero load times, it just makes you. Even when I go back and play on my old Xbox One and Series and PlayStation 4, whatever, I'm like, God, these load times.
Yeah, I know. It's so.
Or it's not just load times either. A lot of the games run at 60 instead of 30, which like I used to not care about until all my games ran at 60 or 120 even for multiplayer stuff, and it's like, oh my gosh, this just feels so much nicer. And you go back and it's running sub 30, you're like, how did I ever play this? Because for example, like Destiny's Crucible mode runs at 120 frames a second. Well, if you got more than like 4 or 5 Guardians in one space in Crucible, it would run sub 30 on Xbox One X. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is just, it's clean. It just feels clean. So, what else are you playing, Jesse?
That's pretty much it. I did play a little Skatebird. That I was hoping it would be a little bit more, feel a little bit more like a Tony Hawk game, but it's pretty bare bones. It's really if you're into that kind of stuff, you might as well just pick up that Tony Hawk 1 and 2 remake stuff, because it's like that's what they wanted to make, and I don't think it's awful or bad. It's just there's not a whole lot there to do.
Yeah.
In it, so
that sucks because that game looked kind of neat.
Yeah.
I mean, I know we talked a little bit about it last week, but
yeah, I mean, there's some humor and stuff to it, and obviously with the play on words and things like that, but yeah, there's just not a whole lot to it.
Oh, that sucks. Tony Hawk though, that's a game. It's a good game.
That's a game.
It's a great game.
And it does have that whole collection style thing in Skatebird, like with the objectives and stuff like that. And who knows, maybe it picks up as you get into other maps and stuff. But the very beginning part, it was pretty bare bones. So
Man, that sucks. That seemed like an interesting take on skateboarding, but oh well. I guess it's my turn now, huh?
Yes. Corey, what have you been playing?
Well, I'm glad you asked because it rarely ever changes these days. I played a lot of Destiny this week, but played some Trials of Osiris this weekend, which is like the hardcore PvP mode, and they changed it up a little bit this week, and they added something in it called Trials Labs, which is like an experiment that they're doing to make it, I don't want to say easier for players that never play this mode, but more inviting. And let me tell you, me and my friend Mitch were playing, and man, we won some matches, we won some rounds. I got me a great pulse rifle called the Messenger with a great roll on it. I got Reed's Regret, which is a linear fusion rifle. I know this means nothing to people that don't play Destiny, but I promise you, these are great guns, and I got great rolls on them. And I got really cool armor. 3 of the 5 pieces of armor I got. It was a good time. And I hate PvP, so.
Yeah. Is
that mostly what you play? Is PvE?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because I would try to, like, the thing with PvP was always, like, if you literally weren't on top of it, playing every single raid and getting every single good gun there was,
No,
you go into PvP,
all that crap.
Yeah, you go into PvP and you'd be lucky if you killed like 2 people in the whole entire match, because you'd just be so outgunned that it wasn't even funny. Like, it was insane. I really didn't like how they did that, how they handled that and made it just so overwhelming with what you need to do to be able to even compete in that area of the game. Just shuts so many people out from a whole section of the game. But it's good if they're trying to make some little changes to try to work around things or whatever. I don't know, but
yeah. And me and a group of my friends are trying to create a group that's like a little bit more inviting for people who don't play a lot, and trying to do things that because like the big thing in Destiny is always like people that are like sweaty tryhards are always like, well, you need to have this weapon and this weapon and this weapon, and all your stuff needs to be masterworked, and you need to have these rolls on these weapons, and if you don't have them, you can't play with us because we need to do this, we need to get in and get out, and like that's not fun. That sucks. I don't like playing like that. Like, I avoid playing with people that I consider myself friends with because of that reason. And so we're trying to just create a group that is a little bit more inviting to people who don't play a lot and don't have the time or the energy to play with people like that. So
more about the fun, less about the like trying to accomplish things. Like if you accomplish something, that's great, but it's not like the main focus.
Especially like raids and dungeons and stuff that are a little bit harder, and they require teamwork and communication and stuff, but like if you don't have this specific sniper rifle with this specific role and it's not leveled up all the way, we're not gonna like kick you out, you know what I mean? So that's that's gatekeeping. That's kind of technically what they right.
And
I hate stuff like that. So especially because like Jesse, as a parent, it's like, well, I have like a limited amount of time to play anything because of responsibilities and stuff, I don't get to sit in my house every day all day playing video games. So that'd be cool, be nice, maybe someday.
Be sick,
but not today.
I'm not proud of it, but like
yes, you are.
This is the last season, I think, anyways, that I'm playing of it, because once Battlefield and everything comes out, but I paid the $60 or $70 or whatever it was to finish my battle pass in Fortnite because I just did not want to do the grind.
That's fair. I'm looking at my Destiny season pass, looking at it, and it's like they added, like, they always wait like 5 or 6 weeks before you can buy season ranks, just because like they want people to play it and get involved in whatever. But they added do you want to buy a season rank? It's only $1, just $1 per season rank. And I'm like, it would only cost me $7 to get more enhancement prisms to level up my gear. It would only cost me $20 to get that golf ball to masterwork my helmet that I've been trying to masterwork all season.
Priorities.
So
yeah.
But yeah, I played Destiny. I also played a smidgen of the Halo test flight, and I wanted to play last night, but I texted you, Jesse. I just had to take care of things, kids. So
it was fine. Yeah, because I had played it earlier in the day.
Yeah,
but
I just I played a little bit, like probably like 2 matches today, and it was just like it's good. Halo feels really good. Like it feels like Halo. It feels like the evolution of the Halo you remember playing like 15 years ago. It's I think 343 really nailed the multiplayer and the movement and the weapons. The weapons sound good. They feel good to shoot. The recoils don't, like, they feel good. They don't, it doesn't feel like you're shooting the pistol and you're like doing one of these things, the game feels good. The movement feels good. The equipment feels good. The customization is really cool. Like you can literally get down to like, oh, I want my arm piece to be this color and then my helmet to be this color or whatever. And like you can pick and choose each piece of armor. You can have robot legs if you want. So that's really cool. Robot arms, like, and you can like choose, oh, well, I only want it from the wrist down. I only want it from the arm down, like the elbow down. And it's like, there's a lot of customization that's really cool. It's just, I think this even if the campaign is mediocre, like I think that this multiplayer is going to live on for a long time. And like even the maps that they gave us, like one of them in particular has a real Titanfall feel to it, like just the way it's designed and the aesthetic of it. I forget what it's called, but that looks like it just feels like one of those maps that's going to be like, that's going to be up there with Blood Gulch and Wizard and all the old classic Halo maps is something you point to me like, that's an instant classic. So really enjoying it, really like it. I'm excited for December when it launches because I will probably be playing a lot of it. Not a lot of it, but I'll play it when I have time, So it'll be a once a weeker for me for a while, at least.
Yeah, I've been so deprived of like good first person shooters and stuff like that for a little while here, where I just haven't really had anything that's really been keeping my interest in that department. And so I am so ready for Halo and for Battlefield. Like both of those I am like full on excited for. Like I cannot wait.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, sometimes I kind of miss the days of the onslaught. Like it was like late Xbox, early 360 and PS3 days of just like every game was a first person shooter, it seemed.
Yeah.
So I mean, there were some gems in there. There was some garbage. So I imagine the market got saturated and just cleaned house.
To this day, like seriously, one of the best games that like barely anyone ever talked about was I forget what it exactly was called, but the Homefront game. I think there was like a subtitle to that. But the very first Homefront game, like that story mode
was really interesting.
Really intense.
Yeah.
Like that was such a cool, like,
Homefront Revolution you're thinking of. That was just kind of there's a really good video on YouTube. It's that channel called Gamers, where they like actually do like a deep dive into certain games and what happened, so to speak. they did a really good deep dive into that and all the trouble that game went through, and it was like we spent so long making this game, let's just freaking release it and just forget about it. It's kind of sucked because that game deserved better.
Yeah, because I mean, at the time, I want to say it was one of the only games that was running on true dedicated servers, like for their multiplayer. And I'm talking not even Activision or Call of Duty was on them yet. And their multiplayer was actually pretty decent. It was like a really good mix of the whole like earning kill streaks type things, but yet it felt like a Battlefield game in some ways. Like they did a really good job of almost picking this in between a Battlefield and Call of Duty game. And I enjoyed playing that game a lot, but that story was like I think one of my favorite from 360.
Really good,
like the first person campaigns. But
the other thing too in Halo is like that grappling hook. I played around with that a little bit also today, and like the way you can like pull yourself towards enemies or pull guns towards you if you're out of ammo is like a really neat mechanic that I'm like, man, this is the people that are going to master this are going to just slaughter everyone, because this is like it's a really cool mechanic, and like being able to get to higher elevations quickly. I can see really good snipers taking out people who are grappling really high, but like if you can get to a higher place and you're good at sniping and using this, it's just going to be, the world's going to be your oyster.
Yeah.
So that grappling hook though, man, love a good grappling hook.
Yeah. Well, and I honestly, when I was playing this game, I'm like, you know what? They've made it pretty bare bones, and it does feel really good and like that, like Halo 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Like as far as gameplay wise, and I'm almost tempted to hook my my mouse and keyboard up and play like that again, because like my problem is I haven't played that way in so long that now things like Call of Duty and all that, there's so much more going on that it's not a simple thing to just jump on a keyboard and a mouse and be able to just master it right away. But they made it so, basic and bare bones, but yet feel really good and up to date, that I almost feel like I could jump on it with a mouse and keyboard, and because it's definitely gonna be difficult, like, because Halo has always been about precision and headshots, like,
right,
and if you can't do that, it's really hard to get good at that game. But I was enjoying it a lot. I did run into some issues though in the gun training mode. There was one of the guns, it's like towards the bottom, I think it's the one right before the rocket launcher. It's like it shoots like some kind of like exploding like flame stuff or something like that. I had an issue where some of the dummies that would, the guys that would show up, like my shots were literally just going right through them, and it wasn't registering at all. So I ended up failing that horribly because I could not get rid of, like, I could not eliminate that guy. So like I don't know if that's something that they'll have to fix in the full game, but I don't know. I was having some issues with certain things just in that mode that I was noticing, where it didn't seem like it was always hitting the targets. But I do like how the body part glows when you hit it.
Yeah,
like to let you know where you're hitting.
Sick.
It's cool. It's cool. That's all I've been playing. We're gonna jump into this news, guys. There's a pretty big news story here about Crystal Dynamics is partnering with Microsoft and the initiative. The official statement from Square Enix says Crystal Dynamics is, quote, on loan to Microsoft.
I didn't know you could do this, really. I wonder how that works. Like, do you just like...
It works like soccer, right? You can do that in soccer, right? You can loan players to other places, right? So
Yeah, and it's up to that club. So like Crystal Dynamics could be like, keep them,
yeah.
or Crystal Dynamics would be like, yeah, we want them back.
Well, this like after we talk about this, that actually like has some thoughts that we talked about last week when we talked about who Xbox might be buying, and some people said that Xbox was looking to buy Square Enix. This was like last summer, and it was like, well, that's not going to happen. But
No.
I do feel like Square Enix wants to offload their Western division, which would be Crystal Dynamics, Eidos Montreal. There's, I think, Square Europe or whatever, their publishing arm. I feel like this would be like a good subsection of studios to buy, because that would give them Tomb Raider, that would give them Deus Ex, which, let me tell you,
Hell yeah,
an arcane Deus Ex game.
we need another Deus Ex.
And we need another Tomb Raider. It's been too long.
Well,
already.
Deus Ex. We've had enough Tomb Raider.
No, we need more Tomb Raider. We need more both.
I'll agree with that. But
We need
Deus
more
Ex
both.
first.
More
Deus
both.
Ex first.
More both.
Yes.
Deus Ex first.
So, but yeah, so surprise news that the initiative would be partnering with Crystal Dynamics on the upcoming Perfect Dark game. The Xbox studio said it was, quote, incredibly excited to work with the developer known for titles like Tomb Raider, and in response to this, Crystal Dynamics has shared its own message on social media about the new partnership. It's, quote, thrilled to be involved. Nothing how it, I think it's supposed to say, noting how it thrives on reimagining iconic heroes. Crystal Dynamics on Twitter said, we couldn't be more excited to join forces with, quote, with the initiative to bring Perfect Dark to a new generation of gamers. We thrive on reimagining epic heroes and can't wait to realize this first-person spy thriller together.
That kind of makes me a little upset, because not upset, but like kind of bummed. Like, oh man, it's first person. Like we were talking earlier, that we wish it would kind of go to the third person route, but
yeah,
I think it'll still be good regardless.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I am a little concerned though that like Xbox, this is their brand new, quote, quadruple A studio, and they have to outsource, partnering with another studio to do this.
Well, that's how much they want to, like triple down, basically, to say this is a, 4A studio or whatever you want to call it. Like we're bringing in big guns for this, because Crystal Dynamics, man, they made some good stuff.
Yeah, I agree. It's just like, man, I'm kind of worried about some of the studios though, because like I just feel like what's going on with managing these studios, right? Like I feel like 343 has been kind of mismanaged. I feel like the only studio that's been really managed well is the Coalition.
This is the lead up for our topic at the end of the episode. So.
I know, but all right. So okay, we'll save this conversation for that. But I mean, Crystal Dynamics, I feel like is a great choice, regardless of what you think of Avengers or not. I feel like that was more of a Square decision than a Crystal D decision to make that game what it is, right? I really love
the Crystal D.
Yeah,
that's gonna be what we're calling it from now on.
I didn't mind Avengers. The campaign was fine. I didn't go back to like the Wakanda stuff or anything, but I love Rise of the Tomb Raider. I love the Tomb Raider reboot. I love that entire trilogy. I actually like the trilogy before that they did with Legend and Anniversary and what was the other one? Underworld. I really liked that set of games. So I think Crystal Dynamics they know how to make a really cool, interesting female protagonist who can get shit done. This is exciting. I do wish it was third person. I would have loved to seen it more like a Metal Gear, like almost like an open world Metal Gear type game, right?
Right.
With cool gadgets.
Splinter Cell.
Yeah, and like the story takes itself seriously, but you can do some kind of silly things with the way that like Hitman kind of does almost. Maybe not exactly like Hitman, but funny things happen when you set certain traps or whatever. So yeah, if you guys, I mean, what do you guys have to say about this? Kind of went off on a rant / tangent. there.
Well, I mean, I'm in on it. Like I said, I think they're going to bring a good wealth of knowledge. I mean, to what they're going to do. I'm not exactly for sure what specifically they're going to do, but that shows. I mean, like I said, I didn't know you could do this in the video game development world, but yeah, this kind of leads me to think that, kind of like with what you were saying, it got my gears turning that maybe this is a potential for Microsoft to kind of acquire Crystal Dynamics or maybe some other like Square Enix Western developed studios. Now that this acquisition was so easy, it seems.
Yeah. Well, and it makes you wonder if maybe like Microsoft is having second guesses about making having them focus on this IP in general, like I mean, not everyone was upset, but a lot of people, it would be a lie to doubt that a lot of people weren't happy that they were going back to an old IP, and a lot of people were hoping that we would get a new IP out of them.
Yeah.
And maybe Microsoft is thinking about that, and so maybe they're gonna have they'll be working on simultaneously on two different games even, but they didn't want to make these guys overwork and be stressed out, and so they wanted to pull in some other help.
Yeah, plus they have the Crystal Dynamics connection anyway with Daryl Gallagher, who used to run Crystal Dynamics and now is the studio head at the initiative. So, I mean, that connection is already there as well. So I want Perfect Dark to be good so bad. I do, because
it's gonna be. Gonna be. I mean, like I said, this is nothing but good news to me.
Yeah. But yeah, like you said, Stoy, I do agree with you though. I think either way, it may make you wonder. At the same time, I think this is a good sign overall that they, Microsoft does care about making sure that they're gonna do what they need to do to make sure these guys have the opportunity to strive on what they're trying to do.
For sure.
Yeah. So,
sick.
I can't wait to see more of Perfect Dark.
Yeah.
I thought that teaser trailer was really cool. I want to see more. Yeah. So we will report back when there's more to report on.
In 3 years when this game comes out.
Right.
Yeah. Hey,
Day one on Game Pass, xCloud, and Xbox Series A, B, C, D. All right. So moving on. For the 20th anniversary of the Xbox, Hyperkin has been re-releasing Duke controllers. They released a white one with the 20th anniversary logo on it. They released a black one with a 20th anniversary logo on it. Now they're releasing a Cortana edition Duke controller for the Xbox One and Series consoles. It's a translucent purple, has a kind of like this image of Cortana down in the lower right-hand corner. It has the Halo 20th anniversary logo on the back. It's got an extra set of triggers on it for you people who don't, want to have that full experience. So it looks cool. I mean, it's a Duke. It's a Dookie.
It's $90.
It is $90.
90 US
It is
American
$90.
dollars. That's too much. I'm sorry. That's
especially for a wired controller,
Yeah, I mean, well, it's detachable, from what I understand. So I
is
think
it?
it's itself to be Bluetooth.
Oh, I didn't know it was detachable, but
yeah, I mean, even still, to me, it's like $90 for just a controller that has no other I mean, it's not like it's an elite controller where it's got like extra functions and mappable buttons, whatever. But
it does. It has the black and white button. The black and white button.
Sick. Why? Is that what the extra $20 are for?
Yes.
Those $10 for each button.
Yes.
Well, does it still have that LED screen inside of it as well?
It does. It has the Xbox logo is.
Yeah.
I mean, oh sure, cool. No, I'm all for the design. I really liked.
Mm-hmm.
I was one of the weird ones when I was a kid growing up. Not a kid. I was in high school when this game came out. System came out, but I liked the big controller. I thought like it fit naturally in my hands, and then when they released the smaller version, I was like, cool. I mean, I'm down with whatever. Doesn't matter. But I really like the Duke controller. Like holding it, and it brings me back to like obviously that's what I played Halo on.
I recently held a Duke controller because my brother-in-law gave me his original Xbox just because I was trying to. I envisioned myself having like one of those square box shelf things, and I was going to put an Xbox in each hole like a cool kid, and I never did it. But I recently held the Duke controller, and it's not as big as I remember it being. It's really not that uncomfortable.
No, I think it's just fine.
Yeah,
but
especially when you have bigger hands, it felt good.
But I think the price point is pretty standard for a lot of Hyperkin's other Duke controllers that they made. So I just don't understand why it's $90. But I guess it's because it's a collector's item.
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, it's cool, but I'm going to be honest. If I'm going to spend $90 on a controller, I'm going to the Xbox Design Labs to make my own.
Yeah, right. Or I'm going to save up a few extra bucks and get that Halo Elite controller whenever the hell that gets available.
Yeah. So, speaking of Halo Infinite, there's a super punch glitch in the test flight, but it's already been resolved, guys. Sorry, so no Halo super punches for you. It's fine.
Yay!
It's fine. Super punch. It seems the old super punch glitch has made a return, as highlighted by our friends over at VGC. That's Video Game Chronicle. If you guys didn't know. This glitch has previously shown up in past entries like Halo 2 and 3, and basically works by swapping and reloading weapons while performing a melee attack. So, there's a couple streamers and YouTubers who have posted it on their Twitters and on their YouTubes and stuff. You can watch it. But 343 Industries community director Brian Jared has confirmed that it has already been resolved in the latest internal builds. And in other words, enjoy it while it lasts in this test flight. So, sorry everybody, no more super punch for you. Are you guys upset? Stoy, you look upset that the super punch is gone. Your face says it all.
The fact that they fixed it so quick, I'm like, I mean, that's pretty cool, but damn, they could have left it in for a little bit and, had some fun with it. I mean, it's in beta mode. Like,
they could have.
Leave it in there for a bit. Have some fun with it.
Are we still talking about this controller? Or?
No. I'm talking about the super punch thing.
I know. Never mind.
Okay.
Never mind.
Super punch.
Let's try to make a sexual joke, and I missed it. So we're just going to move on.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
All right. Jesse, you have anything to say about super punch or no? Because I know this next story is made. It's in here specifically for you, Jesse.
Okay. All right. No, I don't have anything to say about it.
Okay. Super punch gone.
I think they should have left it. it.
Maybe they'll just make it a game mode where everybody has super punches. That's what they did with Griff Ball. Now it's just a mode. So.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Someone will make it in the once the thing's available to make your own game types. They'll see if they can maybe just make it
slappers only.
Oh,
basically
gosh.
just super punches only.
You think slappers only is going to be in Perfect Darks multiplayer?
I hope so. You imagine running around and just doing this all day?
It would be awesome.
Yeah.
It'd be awesome.
So Alan Wake,
our last story,
side-by-side comparison video.
Yeah. Thanks, Stoy, for getting us out of there. Alan Wake Remaster gets a side-by-side comparison trailer. I didn't watch it because I don't care. Jesse, I'm sure you watched it. Stoy, I bet you watched it. Yes. Are you excited about the changes that they showed in this trailer and I did not watch?
They changed Alan Wake a little bit.
Did they?
Yeah, they did a little bit. I mean, they made him look a little bit more. Obviously, they had to make some changes because, like to the facial structure and the animations and stuff. They had to do some kind of visual changes, but yeah, I mean they changed his appearance a little bit and they changed a little bit of his hair to make it look a little bit more realistic. But
Yeah.
I mean,
I wonder if they try to change it to coincide with the character model that's in the Control DLC.
Yeah, probably that could be a reason too.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Because I didn't get to that Control DLC yet.
I didn't either.
Still on my radar.
I wanted to wait until the Ultimate
Edition because
came
you have to beat the game.
Yeah, I know. Well, I mean,
And
I beat the game. I beat the game, and it's just like, man, I just got to get there.
I would have liked to gone back and done the DLC, but like, I don't want to play the Xbox One version. I want to play the Series X version, and I just can't pull myself together to pay the $16 that it's on sale for right now for the Ultimate Edition.
Yeah.
So.
Well, see, and that's the thing, though, is like even if you beat the original version, you have to re-beat the Xbox Series version.
I know.
In order to play that.
I know,
and
that's the saves don't carry over.
So what I did is I put on God mode and one shot mode, so everyone just takes one shot to kill.
Is that
That's
a real
literally
thing?
what I've been doing too. Yeah.
Is that a thing? You can do that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Literally everybody, even bosses, take one shot.
Oh.
It's actually pretty amazing.
That
Like,
sounds perfect. Do they turn the achievements off? I bet they turn achievements off for that.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. 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 I think actually you can only enable it if you beat the game.
Oh.
Right?
No, I was able to enable it, and I hadn't, I hadn't beat the series version yet. So
No, yeah, you're right, because I played Control for the Xbox, but I bought the upgrade for the PlayStation 5, I think.
Okay.
Nah, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. Anyways, Alan Wake coming out in what? A week? 2 weeks? 2 weeks?
Yeah, 2 weeks, I think, isn't it?
2 weeks.
Holy snap. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alan Wake Remastered, October 5th.
It supports smart delivery. So if you buy this for the Xbox One and you want to play it for the Series X, it'll get you an automatic upgrade.
And it's
What if
only
I-
30
No confusion.
and it's only $30.
No confusion here. Thank you.
That price
Microsoft.
point is very nice for a remaster.
That's a solid game.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be funny if they're like, if you still own the 360 version, you get a free upgrade?
I mean, a lot of PC versions of games do that though. So
Yeah.
If they did that, I'd be a little upset.
why did you pre-order it already?
No, I didn't. No. But that would be funny if they were like, here you go, free upgrade for 360 owners. That'd be messed up, though. I don't know how you could do that.
Yeah.
That'd be a huge update.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, people would go out and buy the like $5 used versions of it and
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff. So yeah, obviously,
Right.
you couldn't.
Speaking of upgrades, it's time for the segment we like to call Pass It On, where we talk about the Game Pass announcements and what's coming to Game Pass this week. Stoy, what is coming to Game Pass this week?
Well, actually, something kind of shadow dropped last week that I didn't know about that just all of a sudden popped in. And it's a game called Lost Worlds Beyond the Page. I played this for the PlayStation because it came out of the PlayStation first, and I think it just released on the Game Pass. But this is a sad game. Like, this is a sad game. It's kind of like a storybook style game where like a girl is narrating this story that she's writing in a journal about this. She's writing a story about this girl magic wielder that's trying to save her village from this evil in the land, and it's just a standard side-scrolling platformer, but it's got like a kind of like a fourth wall style story happening at the same time that affects the story that she's writing.
Delightful.
It's really good. It's actually really good, really kind of a powerful story. But besides that, Lemnis Gate is obviously coming out. By the time you're listening to this, it should be out. I think it comes out on Tuesday, the 28th.
Yeah.
Astria Ascending is coming out. This is a
That's that side-scrolling
turn-based
RPG, right?
It's a turn-based token battle system.
Ooh.
I talked about this earlier with my guys because I was like, it looks the art style looks very reminiscent to like Dragon's Crown and like Vanillaware, those type of games, Muramasa the Demon Blade, and so you got turn-based battles, kind of like Final Fantasy, but then you also have these token battle coin side quest games. So yeah,
Cool.
kind of neat. It's actually the narrative story is written by the guy that did the Final Fantasy VII remake.
Oh,
So,
wow. That's cool.
expect really obscure storytelling. Otherwise, you have a game called Unsighted, where it's like a cross-code RPG.
What's it called? Hold on. What's this called?
Unsighted.
Unsighted.
Yeah, it's. I don't know if you ever played Crosscode. It's kind of like a.
I love Crosscode.
Overworld. Yeah, so it looks similar with that, basically.
Oh,
So,
this looks cool. I'm looking at
yeah.
it right now.
Cool.
Oh, that looks cool.
So Astria Ascending and Unsighted comes out on the 30th, and then Phoenix Point is coming out on October 1st, and this looks like a kind of like third-person shooter mixed with, I don't know, like Fallout and XCOM, because it's made by the creators of one of the creators of XCOM, Julian Gollop. So
cool.
Yeah, I mean, so that's cool.
Sounds cool. I'm into
it's kind of like got some RTS strategy elements, but like also third-person action, and it's got like a little VATS system where like you pause and then you do like precision shots, kind of like Fallout. Neat.
Cool.
So that's coming out. That's coming out October 1st, but October's got a big month of releases, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that bridge.
Yeah.
The bridge is here.
It's gonna be a big bridge.
Bridge is here. We're there.
Yeah.
We're ready.
That Unsighted that you talked about, yeah, it's really interesting. It's like a twin stick shooter almost too.
Mm-hmm.
Looks cool.
Yeah.
I'm into it. Speaking of October releases, guys, there's a big list of October releases. So we're gonna run through them real quick. FIFA 22 comes out October 1st. Stoy, are you a FIFA guy?
No, because I'm bad at it. It sucks because I'm like, obviously I'm big into soccer, but like, man, when I play FIFA, I suck.
It's like me and Madden.
But of course I'm gonna get it because I'm gonna play it twice and then never touch it again.
Yeah,
it sucks.
You could just play last year's version on Game Pass.
I could, yeah. I did see that actually just recently when I scrolled through Game Pass titles.
Phoenix Point comes to Xbox One on October 1st. Alan Wake Remastered comes to Xbox One and Xbox Series on October 5th. Hell Let Loose comes to Xbox Series X on October 5th. Let's see. Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl comes to the Xbox platforms on October 5th. Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania comes to Xbox platforms on October 5th. Man, October 5th. Hope you guys are packing your wallets full of cash.
Mm-hmm.
Cash.
Yeah,
Far Cry 6 comes to Xbox. I feel like I've been hearing about Far Cry for like 3 years.
Yeah.
Comes to Xbox on
they've been dumping like 30, story-driven trailers like every week, it seems. Like, here's another story trailer. Like, we don't need this.
Yeah.
Well, I really want that game to be good and capture that experience that I had in 5.
Yeah.
Because 5 is seriously still to this day one of my favorite games. Like, I just loved the goofiness of that game and
Clutch Nixon, one of the greatest American heroes of our time. He had some of the best story setups in that game, man. It was just hilarious.
Yeah, it's
Back for Blood is coming to Xbox Game Pass day 1 on October 12th. So if you want that Left 4 Dead style experience, it is coming to Game Pass.
Cannot wait.
That's exciting.
I know.
Now wait.
We should almost try to do a show like Saturday night, like play some of that or something.
Yeah, we should stream it.
I'm in. Yeah, I'm in.
Yeah. Monster Crown comes to Xbox One on October 12th. Jackbox Party Pack 8 comes to Xbox on October 14th. The Rift Breaker comes to Xbox Series X on October 14th. Crisis Remastered Trilogy comes to Xbox Series and Xbox One on the 15th. Demon Slayer Japanese subtitle here. He comes to Xbox Series and Xbox One on October 15th. NHL 22 comes to Xbox Series and Xbox One on October 15th. The Good Life comes to Xbox One on October 15th. Into the Pit comes to Xbox on October 19th. The Dark Pictures anthology House of Ashes, starring Ashley Tisdale, by the way. I don't know if you guys read that or not. I did for some reason. Comes to Xbox Series and Xbox One on October 21st. Iron Harvest comes to Xbox Series X on October 26th. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy comes to Xbox Series and Xbox One on October 26th. I have my eye on that one. I don't know if it looks good or not.
I do too. It looks amazing, and it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun.
I wanted
October's such a big month. Why?
Yeah, I know.
Why?
Initially, I was like really excited for Guardians of the Galaxy, and everybody's like, "Whoa, it looks boring. It looks stupid. It's not MCU. It's not Chris Pratt." I'm like, "Well, stop playing with my head. I was excited. Shut up."
That's okay.
And you better like it because now the comic book no longer exists. So I don't. Yeah. I think I heard that they stopped the Guardians of the Galaxy comics. They don't make them anymore.
Yeah, because
they brought them back. They brought them back for the movies, and now they stopped on issue 18 or something like that.
Oh dear! Oh no! What are these people gonna do? Oh my god!
NASCAR 21 Ignition comes to Xbox One on October 26th. Age of Empires 4 comes to PC and PC Game Pass on October 28th. Fatal Frame Maiden of Blackwater comes to Xbox Series and Xbox One on October 28th, previously a Wii U exclusive. Riders Republic comes to Xbox Series and Xbox One on October 28th. And that's
Excited
it.
For that.
That's the list. Reminder.
God, that's it. Jesus.
Reminder that all the Xbox One games are playable on Xbox Series X, and some of these games on Game Pass, crossplay with PC. So there you go.
Keep in mind, if you wanted to play on your Series X and you want it to be upgraded, look for the X.
Yeah, look for the Series X and S logo, because not all third-party games. Although, also a quick reminder, all of the Ubisoft games will be getting free upgrades for the Xbox Series of consoles. So nice. They do support smart delivery, so that is very, very nice.
Good.
So there's your list. I'm going to try to do it at the end of every month, the next month's games. That's something I want to implement. I know this one was kind of sloppy, but it's okay. Working on it.
We made it.
We made it. You know what we made it to, guys? Our topic of the show. Guys, I want to know, are we happy or concerned with Xbox's position right now? They had a solid launch with the Xbox Series. Smart delivery is working 95% of the time. Sorry, Stoy, with your little non-smart delivery. That story just makes me laugh.
That's my gripe. It's just, I mean, like I said, I shouldn't complain about that because, I mean, that's something I guess I should be aware of. But it's hard in this kind of cross generation of just especially when they make it to PlayStation and Sony and Microsoft, I mean, are making it easy to be like, hey, it's okay if you have a PlayStation 5 and we're releasing it for the PlayStation 4, you can still play it on the new system. I love that idea. That's what kind of burnt us in the past when, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4 came out. It was like, oh yeah, all these PlayStation 3 games, you're gonna have to rebuy them again for the PlayStation 4 completely, or you're just ass out.
Yeah.
So to speak.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I like it, but also, like I said, it's just something I probably should pay attention a little bit more to.
Yeah, especially on third-party games. We already know all of the first-party games are going to support it. Ubisoft said they're going to support it.
Yeah.
So, but, I mean, how are we feeling with Xbox's position right now? Are we concerned? Are we excited? Are we a little bit of both? What are we concerned about? What are we excited about? The one thing I guess I'm concerned about is, and I was kind of concerned over this about Microsoft's
acquisitions over the last like year and a half, where they were just like, let's just buy all these studios to cement our role as, you know, one of the biggest video game publishers in the world, and if not the biggest one, you know, considering who they all have now under their umbrella. It kind of led me to think like, you know, basically Microsoft are just buying their way to the top of the ladder. You know, and that leads me concerning to say like, hey, we're just gonna buy our way out of this, you know. And it's nice that they're just gonna let the developers do their own thing, because I can't imagine the amount of oversight they need to oversee all these studios, especially something like Bethesda, where Bethesda has like a bunch of other developers underneath them. So if you can only imagine the Microsoft oversight. So that's why it's like a good thing Microsoft says like, do what you guys want.
Yeah,
because there's no way they could kind of like, you know.
I'm just like, that's my worry too, is like, how are they going to manage all these studios, especially if the rumor's true that they're buying more, you know.
I think Bethesda should have been the last. I mean, and I know I said that last week. I was like, they should be done, really, honestly. Let's start, you know, putting your money where your mouth is and just start putting out good games with these publishers and these acquisitions.
Yeah.
And, you know, show us that the money was worth it. So
yeah. Yeah. I'm a little bit concerned with how they're going to manage all these studios. I know we've gotten some great games. You know, the last few games they've put out have been great, like Flight Simulator, Gears Tactics, which I still think is severely underrated. I don't really understand why nobody really talks about it, probably because it's a tactics game. But Psychonauts 2 has been highly regarded, right? And Forza is always highly regarded, so I don't think Forza Horizon 5 is going to be a problem. I think the one that everybody is looking at is Halo, because of how mismanaged Halo 5 was, how development has gone for Halo Infinite. I think people are concerned a little bit. Judging what I've played from the multiplayer is great. It's the campaign I think people are looking at and being like, hey, Halo's the one first-person shooter where we really care about the campaign. Let's... Right. I really hope that campaign is great. I hope they know what they're doing in terms of managing these teams. They've got a lot of teams, haven't really seen a lot of output, right, in the stuff we have seen. Like Psychonauts was acquired, and Psychonauts was already in development, right? So some of the games they've put out were already underway. Wasteland 3, right, was already coming out. Outer Worlds was already coming out, regardless of the acquisition. So, Jesse, what are your thoughts?
So, like, yeah, I think I don't know. I do have a little bit of pause and worry as far as you know, them kind of making sure that they're not spreading themselves short when it comes to working, you know, with all these developers now that they have and these teams that they have. But at the same time, I think they would be smart enough, you know, having the money that they can afford to have more positions of people who can make sure, you know, that they have you know, people to communicate with and you know, like, do what needs to be done as far as managing stuff.
Yeah,
but
you would think, but like, I feel like there's that you point at it and it's like, well, you don't want too many cooks in the kitchen. But like I was gonna bring up earlier, right, with the initiative, like they weren't bragging, but a lot of the stories that were coming out, they poached people from Sony Santa Monica, they poached people from Naughty Dog and Crystal Dynamics, and like, right, like Taylor Gallagher was a great leader for Crystal Dynamics, right, with the Tomb Raider series and everything. But now they're struggling to like develop a game on their own, so they've had to outsource stuff to Crystal Dynamics. Like that to me, Stoy, I know you said that's nothing but good news for you, and in terms of Crystal Dynamics reputation is like, yeah, I agree on that end. My concern is Microsoft managing the initiative to the point where like, oh crap, we need to get some outside help with this game because it's not coming together with the team that we have, you know?
Yeah, I can see that point.
Sorry, Jesse, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just trying to make.
But I don't know, because the thing is though too is I kind of look at like what we've heard about the new Forza game though too. Like they're working with people who worked on Grand Theft Auto and all these open worlds that have kind of come to help them with understanding that part of it as well.
I mean, like outsourcing is not like it's not a bad thing, right? Studios do it all the time. No. They outsource assets and code and whatever, but like, these are like, they outsource to studios that specialize in being outsourced, right? Crystal Dynamics is a studio known for making full-blown awesome action games. And the fact that you're outsourcing them to, basically make this game for you with a studio that you touted as your first quote unquote quadruple A studio, that worries me. And I don't know if they just like all the puzzle pieces aren't fitting together, or like they have the wrong people in the wrong positions or whatever. But like that just worries me. Not that I don't need Microsoft to have a portfolio the way that Sony's is, right, where it's always a third person action banger after banger after banger after banger, right? Like I actually don't want that. I like that Flight Simulator and Psychonauts and Age of Empires and Gears all exist in the same ecosystem. I like that, right? I think that benefits Microsoft greatly. But it just seems like whenever it comes to like their main studios or their flagship studios, aside from the coalition, like there just seems to be issues happening. Like, I mean, Halo's not a big secret that studio seems to have been mismanaged since Halo 4, right? Like it just, that's my concern is all.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I do think there is, there should always be some pause until we actually see, what kind of product they're making. But I don't know. I don't know why, but like I just don't feel as worried about it. Like like once we see something, and if it does look like like there could be some issues, because I mean, yeah, like there was something going on with Halo Infinite, but I think sometimes I wonder though, like, because I mean Halo is such a massive thing to take on, and I can see how that could be very stressful to anyone, no matter how great at your job you are, to have to be tasked with such a difficult thing to try to pull off, and
especially with
so many people watching you,
especially with the legacy that Bungie left and is Bungie's currently doing with Destiny. Like, you want to live up to the expectations and the legacy, and I liked Halo 4. I think, and personally, Halo 4 is my favorite Halo right now, followed by 3, but like a lot of people didn't like Halo 4, and that really sucks, because now now you have to be like as we're all kind of doing things creatively, right? Like if somebody, like if you put out something that you're really proud of and then somebody doesn't like it, like at least for me, like you tend to overthink, well, how do we change it? What do we do to fix it? Like, is this really a direction that we're comfortable going, or do we want to change things? Do we want to keep it the same? Do we want to piss off these people while we appease these people, right? Like, it just, the creative process sucks when it comes to that. And like, that's for our dumb little podcast, right? Like, I couldn't imagine working on a franchise.
We're not dumb, Corey.
You know what I mean?
I'm not.
I am. It's fine. It's fine.
It's fine. It's fine.
I can imagine doing that with a property as important as Halo.
Yeah.
And that just, I feel for 343. I really do.
Not to mention because unfortunately there are those people out there who want them to fail too.
Yeah.
Like, it's just,
The Twitter eggs.
And that's just a vocal minority. It's such a vocal minority of people that just like hate it so much, because you know how it is. It's like the people that enjoy your content aren't the ones that are speaking out loud every day telling you how awesome you are. They're just enjoying your content.
Stoy, you're awesome. Your content's great.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Now text me that tomorrow at 5 p.m. and every day after 5 p.m.
I love
at 5 p.m. after that. Okay. Anyway, but yeah, so yeah, I mean, 343 Studios is going to do what they're going to do. They want to appease as many Halo fans as possible, and because it's going to make them the most money, which ultimately in the end, video games is a business, and Microsoft knows that, so that's why they're making a lot of these financial acquisitions to cement their place as being the best video game publisher in the world.
Yeah, and I think just like with this new the Perfect Dark stuff, like it's I think they're just trying to get something that's like a baseline of something that everyone is used to, maybe, and and it's not necessarily that they're having troubles. It's just like like look at how Anthem and like these games where they had to use a system or a type of game engine that they're not used to. They don't like I just wonder if there's something going on there where they're trying to build an engine for this game, and he wanted to bring them over to help with even just some of that kind of stuff, of having an idea of there's a lot that could be going on here. That's why I'm kind of just like, I gotta see something first and then I'll worry if I feel like it, because there's just so many different processes that go on in this that until they actually tell us why this happened, it's really hard to tell. Like it really could not be that. It could just be really not that big of a deal that this happened.
Admittedly, video game development is a very hard thing to do, especially nowadays where video games are so technologically advanced that there's so many different variables and aspects that we can't even imagine. Not only just like writing a good narrative or a good story, but we're talking AI, we're talking game mechanics, we're talking art assets, we're talking, so many other programming levels, and just the testing alone, to making sure the game works well, especially if it's like multiplayer focused. We're talking like an online system that needs to be, one, robust, and two, stable, that you can accommodate hundreds of thousands of players. And even the pre-production, like obviously we take, for example, Microsoft resurrecting Perfect Dark, for example. How many people are in that boardroom all have different visions of what they think Perfect Dark should be, and trying to get all those people on board to follow one singular vision. And that's always been the problem with a lot of games that have came out that have had identity crises, where like Anthem, for example, came out with like just a big identity crisis. Is it Destiny, or are they trying to be another Mass Effect, where they're trying to tell a good story, but they want it to be like this open world action game, so to speak. So you have to have a singular vision, and I think that's where you have to have a good core team working with you. And I think Microsoft took that into account on who they acquired, who they purchased. They purchased good, solid teams with good visions, good leadership, and I think ultimately it'll benefit them, but we won't see the fruits of that labor for probably another 2 years.
Yeah. I just, at this point, I almost wish like if we knew they were gonna work with Crystal Dynamics at this point, I almost wish they would have just like outsourced this game to Crystal Dynamics in the first place and just let the initiative work on a new IP. Where like Sony always has these second party deals where they're like, hey, will you make us an IP? Like that's what Ratchet and Clank was for a long time, right? Before they purchased Insomniac, which was like the steal of the century, by the way. Insomniac is just they paid less than $250 million for that studio. It's just like, oh my gosh, they shit out a $250 million check and just wipe their ass with it. But like,
Sony won that one.
Yeah. But I almost wish they would have done something like that at this point. And let Daryl Gallagher lead the team or whatever. Like, I don't know. This almost reads like that's almost what they're doing at this point. I want Perfect Dark to be good, not because like I have any real affinity for the originals or Perfect Dark Zero. Like, I liked Perfect Dark. It was fine, right? It just felt like the GoldenEye sequel that we weren't getting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, admittedly, yeah, there's such a small. This Perfect Dark game is setting up to be just. I mean, there's not a lot of people that have fond memories of Perfect Dark, much less even played any of the Perfect Dark games.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the 360 day one release version was subpar at best, admittedly.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like an obscure title that has like a small fan base.
Yeah.
So I want to say they're probably going to stand out to be like, this is a good standalone game for anybody, new fans, and old fans.
And that's almost why I wish they would have just not made it a first-person game at this point. Like, just this was your chance to change Perfect Dark. It's been long enough to where people who remember the original either A, aren't playing games anymore, or B, are playing drastically different games or are playing their first-person shooter, and B, like that generation that has no recollection of what Perfect Dark is whatsoever. This was your chance to do that. And I just
when they made that announcement in that trailer, there's probably like a good contingent of people that were like, Perfect Dark, what's that?
I mean, like, I think the concept is cool enough, right? Where like, oh, this super awesome secret agent chick is like taking people down with cool gadgets and in this funky like futuristic world, there's aliens involved. That's cool. Like, that's a cool enough premise to where you could do whatever you wanted, right? Like, and they go back to what Perfect Dark,
and that's what I hope Microsoft does is they start going into new IP territory. Not necessarily buying studios and then like rehashing old, like, we don't need another Conker's Bad Fur Day. We don't need another Blinks game.
Well,
some people may disagree with me.
We need Conker. Let's bring Conker back.
But I mean, like,
I know what you mean.
You have a good contingent of people that are like, let's start seeing some new IPs. Let's start seeing some new games, some, new fresh ideas that could actually spawn into maybe bigger sequels, stories and whatever. So that's where I hope Microsoft is going to with, Obsidian's big RPG title, anything Bethesda out like Starfield, I think those titles are gonna be huge for them, and I'm really banking on that being their bread and butter.
Well, and Deathloop is like, just
I want to talk about Deathloop.
We can talk about it next September when it comes to Xbox Game Pass.
Yeah. But I'm just saying though, like but that's something that we like we can is already a good glimpse at the future of what like what we could see from them. So because sometimes I wonder if Deathloop is literally just their like Sunset Overdrive, essentially, like where a lot of that stuff could be brought to even bigger level, and that was just a game to test out some of those mechanics and stuff like that. Like that's what I thought.
Well, we talked about that before. Sunset Overdrive was a big testing ground for a lot of mechanics for Insomniac's Spider-Man game.
Yep. So
that was the big influence.
So I wonder if sometimes if Deathloop could be a good idea of an even bigger vision. So
maybe it can inspire Redfall. Who knows?
I think Redfall is going to be big.
Yeah,
I think Redfall looks awesome. And I mean, we have a huge list of games that are coming, right? Like, I think Redfall is going to be really the first big new IP that for Xbox that's going to just, I don't know. It looks a lot like The Division meets Borderlands meets, vampire stuff. It looks cool.
Left 4 Dead, yeah.
I think, that game's going to be so good. It's gonna be feel it.
But like I said, I think 2022 is going to be the year of the Xbox. I think that's when all of a sudden they're going to start dumping all their big IPs that they've been working on. And
okay, so playing off that story, why do you like what has you excited for 2022 and for Xbox? Because I feel like we dwelled a little bit too much on what we're concerned about. But I want to be excited. I am excited for Xbox. I'm excited for the future of Xbox.
Yeah.
So why in 2022 do you think it's going to be the year of the Xbox?
Well, like I said, they've talked about for years how, we got these big studios working on these big games and we have nothing to show for it. Like there's, admittedly, we had some decent first party titles come out this year, but nothing that really grabbed us. There's nothing like Halo level-ish, so next year, I think we're going to start seeing these. I imagine Microsoft's keeping a lot of things close to the belt. So if they're going to say something's coming out, they're going to say it's coming out soon. Starfield, I think, is going to be one of their biggest ones next year. And hopefully we're going to start to see some other ones kind of creep out, like maybe a
Hellblade.
Or that other one that they're working on. We're going to start to see something from Obsidian. I don't know if Outer Worlds is that far in advance in development.
I mean, we still have Avowed. We still have Avowed coming too from them.
Yeah, that was the other one that I was thinking of. I couldn't remember the name of it, but so I imagine they have two separate teams working on those. So that's where I'm excited for. Games have been 2-3 years in development. At this point, yeah.
To finally get a an actual vision of the future with not just titles of more gameplay of stuff we're gonna see soon, and in-game stuff we're gonna be getting in the very, very near future. I do think that this next year is gonna be much bigger, as big as as some of the stuff was in the past here. I think it's gonna be a much bigger vision of the future, much more promising anyways.
Yeah, I mean, because when you think about it, even like their lost where I was going for a second. Even like their development to indie titles and indie companies, we obviously know and talked about it before that Microsoft is more indie friendly than any of the other systems right now. But in terms of discoverability and funding with the ID system, the ID Xbox program that they have, so we're gonna see some probably stellar indie games next year that you probably never heard about before, but all of a sudden they're gonna drop and they're gonna make waves. I mean,
Yeah, and I mean, I think they've done a really good job too of kind of putting, maybe in some cases a little too much faith in some of these that they're, choosing to back, but there was a lot of issues with the 12 minutes or whatever game, but there was a lot of ambition there and stuff that you do want to see,
I mean, you even see Tunic and Sable and all these they've just done a great job of curating indie games. I think Game Pass has a lot to do with that too, where maybe some of these get noticed more because they're on Game Pass and I don't have to pay for these, because they're already on Game Pass, but also it's been noted that Microsoft really compensates them for not, for putting the game on Game Pass. So,
and even when you do have to pay for them, they're only $20,
right.
So it's, it's not like that. Death's Door is still probably the best $20 I've spent this year.
Oh yeah. I keep forgetting that the game exists.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's the thing is when it comes to indies, even just stuff coming on Game Pass, it's you'll go on Game Pass and look and be, I didn't know that was coming,
they shadow drop a lot of things where all of a sudden they're just here you go, and maybe you find out a day or two before, but that's why it's been so hard for me lately to keep track, because it's holy crap, I didn't know this game was coming out. Holy crap, that game just came out. I didn't know that.
Yeah, but it's kind of a fun little surprise,
and I like that.
They've been doing a really good job of just really keeping that diversity in the games that get added as well. And that's what Xbox has. That's what Xbox has going for it that Nintendo does not have and PlayStation does not have, is
very, very diverse library of games.
Yeah.
And that they fully 100% support. And I think ultimately in the end, the biggest library is going to be sitting with the Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just need to I would just really like a roadmap now.
Yeah,
like we
that
have
would be
enough
nice.
we have enough projects announced, we have enough big games announced and smaller games. Like where's the roadmap now, right? Like we got the rest of the year, we know Starfield's coming next November. What's coming in between there? What can we look forward to? I know they said they wanted to have at least one one first party game a quarter. Let's get that roadmap out, because I think that would also ease a lot of my discomfort too.
Yeah.
Right, is like seeing, because that's something that Nintendo does really well, is like, let's provide you a roadmap of like, okay, here's the thing coming in the next 3 months, 6 months, year, right? Every time they have a direct, that happens. And I know I mentioned Nintendo on the show. I'm Ed, guys. Nintendo, woo!
Woohoo, I'm Ed. I love coffee talk and Nintendo.
Sorry, Ed, we have to do it at least once a show.
Yeah.
But that's something that they've done really well with the Switch era, is have a roadmap for people to, hey, here's what you can look forward to in the next 3 to 12 months. And I think it would be really wise of Nintendo to start, or of Microsoft to start, either with whether they're redoing inside Xbox, or changing the way they do that, or with what's their event that's coming up? God,
Exo.
the Exo event. Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
November 14th through the 16th, by the way.
Yeah. Like
Honestly, I think like almost like a quarterly XO event, just to say, hey, this is what we got coming down in the pipeline.
Yeah.
This is what coming out next quarter.
yeah.
Because Nintendo does that very well, admittedly, is that they keep things very close to the belt. And then when they announce something, it's not too far off in the future. Granted, they make a few slip ups, like obviously Metroid Prime and Bayonetta and stuff like that. But, they obviously for the majority of the time, they're not doing like Sony, where it's like, hey, check this game out. That ain't coming out till 2023, guys. Have fun waiting.
Yeah.
It's like, come on.
Yeah.
Don't do that to us.
I think if they did just like maybe like once a quarter, once every 8 to 10 weeks, they have like a small video thing, the way that the State of Play is kind of set up for Sony.
Yeah.
But better. And just say, hey, here's what you can look forward to in the coming weeks or the coming months. Here's your Game Pass announcements. Here's the first party releases. Here's the indie games coming to Game Pass. And, we'll see you in a couple months. So.
Yeah. I know that's probably kind of hard because, sometimes game development can be so in flux. Like you got, Battlefield that obviously just got pushed back a whole month. Other games that could kind of get like pushed back until indefinite amounts of time.
But see, I think that's fine though. Like if something gets delayed, like that's up to the developer, or if it's a first party game, it's up to Microsoft to go to the social media or like put a video on their YouTube channel or something and say, hey, look, we know you're looking forward to this game. Due to unforeseen circumstances or whatever, we have to delay it by a couple months or whatever, right? Like I think that transparency is always good for a company, and I think that
we need to stop judging developers for doing that. Like stop shit talking them over news media to say like, oh, it's another delay, so of course naturally there's probably problems at the development studio, or there's problems here or problems there. Just like say the developers need more time. That's it. You don't need to fill any more of your bullshit, rumors. Or, this is what I think is happening.
Yeah, and they don't, like they've made it very clear too that they don't, more and more of these companies are trying to be, cautious about overworking, the developers and
they don't want to crunch them, even though they have to at some point.
Yeah, and because I mean, I do think there is a healthy time for crunch, but then that you need to also be compensated for that.
Yeah, I mean, that could be a whole topic for a different day, right? Like I just think that like there's a difference between like crunch and overtime and like the way that the industry talks about crunch, right? But like I think that's a conversation for a different day. We're not going to get into that.
Sure is, for sure.
Overall,
I mean,
go ahead, Stoy.
well, I was going to say, just to kind of put a nail in the coffin for me, I'm hopelessly optimistic about Xbox's future and their position right now. I just think they need to start playing some of their cards like soon.
Yeah.
Like to show like this is what we got and this is when it's coming out. That's what we got and that's when that's coming out. Like they need to start throwing some pretty solid hands out there in order to probably bring people over.
Yep.
That's where I'm at, Stoy. That's exactly where I'm at. I think that they've got a lot of good stuff announced. Let's start showing it and saying, hey, this is when it's coming out. We know Forza, we know Halo, we know Starfield. What about State of Decay? What about Perfect Dark? What about Fable? What about, Avowed? So let's
or even Gears. Like a lot of this stuff.
Yeah. So one final thought there, Jesse.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I do think though that if the EXO event happens for sure this year. Because I was looking at that was something else. I can't find any updated one for it. But if it does happen, I do, like that event is supposed to just be to get the fans excited for the next year. And so I do think that if we do see an XO event, that's going to be where we get that roadmap and, get everyone excited and ready to plan for the next year.
Yeah.
Well, keep in mind too, I forgot that the Tokyo Game Show is happening this weekend.
Yeah.
And Xbox is going to have a pretty big presence, so this could be where they announce another big acquisition like we talked about last week, or maybe they will show a lot of their hands to say this is what we got.
Yeah, because they do they do need to get people in that area in Asia and Japan and all that stuff, and get those people excited as well for letting them know why they need an Xbox. So
yeah, right, for sure.
I mean, yeah, we could definitely see something there too.
Yeah. Plus just to wrap this up, I think we're gonna know more once Halo is good to go, because I know it's kind of all hands on deck right now for Halo, and making sure that game is perfect. So we'll see. Optimistic. We'll see.
Yeah.
But I think that's going to do it for the show, guys. That was I feel like this was our best one yet with this crew.
Oh, wow.
I want to say.
Yeah, we gelling, bro.
Maybe it's because I'm awake tonight,
So maybe you have a more positive outlook on how things are going, you as a host.
Yes.
I think you do just fine.
That's fine.
It's fine.
Shirt's coming soon. Anyways,
good.
I want to thank everybody for watching and or listening to this episode of Arsenal X, the Xbox podcast. Remember, you can listen to it on your podcast service every Tuesday morning or on our YouTube channel, the Boss Rush Network YouTube channel. You can catch us live on Sunday nights on twitch.tv/the Boss Rush Network, or just Boss Rush Network, not the Boss Rush Network. That was a flub on my part. Killed it. Damn it.
Nailed it.
The show sucks now. Oh,
you can catch
all the way to the end.
You can catch all of our content on bossrush.net and find a plethora of shows and written content to enjoy. Stoy, where can we find you?
Well, I am part of the EXP Cast. We are also a video game podcast within the Boss Rush Games Network. We record episodes. We release them out for the public Mondays and Thursdays. Otherwise, you can catch me there on social media, EXP Cast, on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Jesse?
You can find me almost everywhere as Phantom NXS.
Neat. You can find me at I am Corey NHD on Twitter and Instagram. You can find me hosting the Boss Rush podcast on Wednesday nights here live on Twitch, or on Monday mornings on your podcast service of choice. Stoy was on the most recent episode, the
That was a lot of fun.
The comeback episode, he would say.
Yeah.
So very excited to release that on Monday. Check it out. You can also catch me hosting Tower Casuals, the Destiny podcast. I think that's it. I want to thank everybody for watching and or listening. And until next time, we love you. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye now.